Stop waiting. Start acting. Andrew Tate's wisdom isn't for everyone. It's for those who dare to aim higher. If you're tired of feeling stuck and ready to create the life you've always wanted, stay with me. This could be your turning point. With great power comes great responsibility. Everything I've ever shared is rooted in giving my best, even when it means speaking uncomfortable truths. These truths aren't always easy to face, and they're not ones I celebrate. But the world is full of harsh realities that won't disappear just because we ignore them. I don't want to be seen as a negative influence. I want the opposite. Every week, I get thousands of emails from men who say I've saved their lives. Men who were on the brink of despair, even contemplating suicide. Knowing that my words have pulled them back from the edge reminds me why I do this. I believe in the importance of protecting and providing. I've been misunderstood, but I've never set out to offend or tear anyone down. My goal has always been to be a positive force, to help people find strength and purpose. When I talk about living righteously, I mean staying true to your heart and doing good by others. It's about avoiding deceit, not betraying anyone's trust, and walking a path where you can hold your head high. I live this way every single day because it's the foundation of a meaningful life. The harsh truth is that the government won't save you. The system isn't designed to lift you up, which is why personal responsibility is so critical. You're living in a world where the matrix, the system that keeps people trapped, can be cracked, but only if you take control of your life. You can build wealth and achieve happiness, but it starts with taking accountability. I don't believe for a second that anyone is doomed to live a miserable life. I reject the notion that God would create people incapable of joy or success. The universe is generous, and if you put in the work, it will reward you. To the younger generation, let me tell you this: the world owes you nothing. If you don't get up, work hard, and make yourself valuable, no one will care about you. This isn't meant to discourage you. It's the ultimate motivation. Your worth is built through effort, discipline, and the courage to improve yourself. Whether it's building a career, developing skills, or learning from failures, it's all part of the process of becoming someone the world cannot ignore. Success isn't handed out, it's earned. The world is waiting for you to prove yourself, to create your path, and to leave an impact that no one can deny. This is your chance to rise above mediocrity, take control, and live a life of purpose. Start today. There's no better time than now. 99% of my content is aimed at telling men the truth, even when it's hard to hear. As a man, you're not born with inherent value. You have to earn it, create it, and prove it. Life isn't going to hand you respect or admiration just because you exist. You need to go through struggles, face pain, and overcome obstacles. That's how you make people care about you. If you walk into a room and you haven't put in any effort into your life, no achievements, no discipline, no confidence, nobody's going to care about you. Every man out there knows this deep down. One of the amazing things about masculinity is that it connects us all through shared experiences. Think about it. Every man has faced heartbreak. We've all felt unimportant at some point in our lives. We've all had to work hard, build ourselves up, and slowly gain respect. It's a universal journey, and it's one of the things that makes being a man so powerful. It doesn't matter what your path is, whether it's fighting, comedy, music, or business. The formula remains the same. You have to climb to the top. If you decide to stay at the bottom, if you choose to avoid the effort and discipline, you'll wake up one day, probably around 44, feeling miserable. And yes, you'll be depressed. But here's the hard truth. It will be your own fault. Choosing not to build yourself as a man means choosing a life of struggle and dissatisfaction. You have to take charge, take responsibility, and start climbing. There's no other way. One of the core messages I share is this: resist the slave mind. Everything you're told by society, the media, or even your peers often comes with an agenda. If it didn't, they wouldn't bother telling you. Think about it. Why are you so convinced of certain beliefs? Is it because you've experienced them yourself, or is it because someone told you to believe them? Most people don't even stop to question where their opinions come from. They'll argue passionately for hours about something they've only ever seen on the news, not realizing they've been programmed. The truth is, many people are like empty vessels, waiting to be filled with someone else's ideas. But you don't have to be like that. Stop for a moment. Think critically. Ask yourself why you believe the things you do. The people who make the rules rarely have your best interests at heart. They make the rules for their own benefit. That's the game. My advice is simple: resist the programming. Be a thinker, stay curious, and question everything. It doesn't matter who you are or where you stand politically. Left, right, liberal, conservative. What matters is that you think for yourself. I believe in the beauty of men and women working together. We're different, sure, but those differences make us stronger when we unite. Together, we're the most powerful force on the planet. Of course, I believe in love, marriage, and family. I believe in the traditional sense of these values, where a man has a duty to stand up and be a protector and provider. That's not just an old-fashioned ideal. It's a responsibility that makes society stronger. A man needs to ensure his partner's safety and security. And yes, this role requires a degree of authority, but it's rooted in care and respect. At the same time, I fully respect women as sovereign individuals. Women are free to make their own choices, to live their lives however they desire. But that doesn't diminish the duty a man has. Personally, in my relationship, I take financial responsibility. My woman would never have to work unless she wanted to, because I work hard enough to provide for both of us. And this is what I see as my role: to be a foundation of support and stability. There's something else that needs to be said. A lot of people ignore the voices of women who support traditional values. There are thousands of women out there who have publicly defended me, who've said, "I've met Andrew Tate, and he's a good man. I wish I had someone like him who takes responsibility and provides." These women stand by what I say because they understand the value of a man who is willing to protect and provide. And yet, their voices are often drowned out by critics. There's a large group of men out there who still want to live this way. They want to make money, go to the gym, be strong, and drive fast cars. They want to embrace traditional masculinity without being shamed for it. And why shouldn't they? There's nothing wrong with striving to be better, to live with purpose, and to embody strength and resilience. I believe feeling depressed is real, but I don't believe depression as a clinical disease is something untouchable. PTSD is very real. I've seen it firsthand with friends who suffer deeply from it. Life has its share of difficult moments, and I've faced many of them myself. Feeling low or sad is a natural response to life's challenges, but what truly defines us is how we respond. I firmly believe the most powerful weapon we have against these struggles is taking control of our own minds and lives. It's not healthy to hand over all your power and believe that depression is some external force you can't fight. In my own difficult times, and in the experiences of those close to me, the one thing that's always made a difference is choosing to get up and fight back. You have to decide that you won't let it damage you anymore. When someone comes to me saying they feel lost, broken, or clinically depressed, my first advice is simple. Stop identifying with that label. Stop believing you have no control. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim of depression and start working to change your circumstances, things will begin to shift. I've heard from countless people who were told by doctors that they had no chance of overcoming their condition. They were prescribed pills and told this was the only solution, yet nothing improved. Then, they stumbled upon my content and realized there was another way. They took back control, worked on themselves, and found the strength to build a better life. I've received emails from people thanking me for showing them that their lives weren't hopeless, that they had the power to make a change. And they did. Let me share an example. A man once emailed me, saying he was clinically depressed and considering ending his life. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I answered him honestly. I asked if he'd been to a doctor, and he said he had been on antidepressants for a long time, but they didn't work. He told me his depression began after a breakup. I didn't have a magic cure for him, but I told him this: go to the gym, get a six-pack, then email me again. I wasn't dismissing his pain. I was giving him a challenge, something to focus on. He started sending me updates, progress photos of him in better shape. Over time, he achieved his six-pack. Eventually, he emailed me, saying, "I can't believe I ever felt that way. I feel amazing now." He went from being on the brink of despair to becoming a professional bodybuilder. His depression lifted not because of a pill, but because he chose to take control. He focused on what he could change, and it transformed his life. This isn't to say depression isn't real or that it's easy to overcome. But when you take responsibility, work hard, and actively fight against the negativity, you give yourself the best chance to improve. Change your circumstances and your mindset will follow. Life rewards effort and action. The first step might be small, but it's the most important one. Of course, people say money can't buy happiness, and they're right. But let's not lie to ourselves. Money is incredibly important. I'd rank it as the third most crucial thing in life. First comes your health, because without it, nothing else matters. Second is your relationships, because love, family, and connections bring true fulfillment. But after that, money plays a massive role. Can't replace health or relationships, but it can solve almost every other problem. It provides freedom, opportunity, and security. When people come to me saying, "What should I do? I'm just an average guy," my answer is always the same. Stop being average. The idea that being a hardworking, law-abiding citizen is enough for a good life is outdated. You can't just do your job, follow the rules, and expect to thrive. The system isn't designed to reward you for being average. If you only work hard and obey the laws, you'll get taxed to death and stay broke. That's the harsh reality. To escape this, you have to rise above. Learn how money works. Understand banking, investments, and financial systems. You don't need to spend $50,000 on a degree to do this. The internet is full of free resources. Go on YouTube and start learning. Dive into topics like real estate, stocks, or entrepreneurship. Study how past financial crises happened, how mortgage rates work, and why interest rates fluctuate. Once you start understanding money, you'll see opportunities everywhere. Understanding money, banking, and the real estate market is fundamental. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you start. Study why the last housing price crash happened. Learn how mortgage rates are influenced by interest rates. Dive into these topics until they become second nature. Then, surround yourself with people who know what they're talking about. Even if you have no money to your name, there's no excuse not to engage with these ideas. Go to free or low-cost meetings about real estate or investing. Talk to people who are already successful. Ask questions, share thoughts, and discuss strategies. Conversations about money open the door to opportunities. If you're not talking about it, how do you expect to get it? Money flows like water in a cycle. Imagine a cloud forming, rain falling to the ground, water moving through streams, and eventually evaporating back into the sky. Money operates the same way. It's constantly moving. It's not sitting idle in bank accounts or stagnant pools. If you can find a way to position yourself in its path, you'll catch some of it. That's how the system works. The modern world is an attention economy. Whether you're selling products, services, or ideas, if you can capture and hold people's attention, you can generate wealth. Attention is the currency of the digital age, and those who master it hold the power. One habit I practiced for years, and one that everyone should adopt, is analyzing how money is taken from you. Money isn't made, it's taken. Governments and banks print money, but individuals earn it by convincing others to part with theirs. Every time you spend money, ask yourself why. Break it down. If you buy a coffee, don't just drink it and move on. Think, why this shop? Was it the advertising, the convenience, the ambience? Did the smell of fresh coffee pull you in? Or was it the absence of a line? And what about the price? Let's say the coffee costs £6. How much of that is profit? Chances are the cup cost more than the coffee itself. Understanding this isn't just about saving money. It's about learning the mechanisms of business. When you start asking these questions, you'll uncover lessons about marketing, psychology, and operations. You'll see how small details, like signage, pricing, or customer flow, can make or break a business. In my companies, I always stress efficiency. Lines aren't just inconvenient, they look bad. When there's a crowd, my staff speeds up. When it's quiet, they take their time, ensuring the next customer feels attended to. It's about maintaining the perfect balance to keep customers satisfied and engaged. This mindset can open your eyes to opportunities. Imagine sitting in a coffee shop and noticing they don't sell cake. That's a missed opportunity. If you had the money to open a competing shop next door, you'd sell cake, wouldn't you? Maybe you'd improve the atmosphere, hire friendly staff, and create an inviting space for customers. These small changes can make a massive difference. Most people don't think this way. They go through life without analyzing how they spend their money or why some businesses succeed while others fail. They miss the details, too busy being swept along by the circus of modern life. I call it clown world for a reason. People are distracted. They don't think critically about the world around them or how they can benefit from it. Instead, they follow the same old script: work, spend, repeat. But if you want more out of life, you have to step back, pay attention, and think differently. This realization hit me hard when I was a teenager. One day, I was walking to college with friends, and a Ferrari drove by. I turned to them and said, "Doesn't that piss you off?" They looked at me like I was crazy and asked why. I said, "That guy has $400,000 for a car, and we're walking because we can't even afford a bus ride. Do you think he works a regular job?" They shrugged it off, but I couldn't. That Ferrari wasn't just a car. It was a symbol of something I didn't yet understand. That man knew things about the world that I didn't, and it drove me mad. I couldn't sleep for weeks. I kept thinking about how everything we were taught was a lie. The system wasn't designed to produce Ferraris for people like me. It was designed to keep us in line. School, work, retirement, that's the script. But the people with real wealth weren't following it. They were playing a different game. This is the truth most people don't want to hear. The system isn't built for you to win. You can make money within the rules, but you won't get rich by just following them. Most people who succeed don't do so by working a 9 to 5. They think differently, act boldly, and create opportunities where others see obstacles. They understand that trading time for money is a losing game. Instead, they find ways to make their money work for them. Over time, you start to build a system. For me, it means having 60 or 70 people working for me across the world. They keep the machine running, and as long as everything is organized, money flows in. But this didn't happen overnight. It started with learning the basics: sales, communication, and resilience. If I had to start from scratch tomorrow, I'd go back to sales because it teaches you how to navigate rejection, understand people, and create value. The education system doesn't teach you these skills. It's designed to keep you in debt and dependent. You take out loans for a degree, graduate with no financial foundation, and immediately start accumulating more debt through mortgages, credit cards, or car loans. Before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle where you're working just to stay afloat. That's not freedom. It's servitude. Breaking free requires more than hard work. It requires strategy, discipline, and the willingness to challenge everything you've been told. When I pull up in a Lamborghini at a petrol station, no one thinks he studied hard and followed the rules. They know instinctively that I broke away from the system. The easiest way to amass wealth is to think outside the box. You have to understand money, time, and value in a way the system doesn't teach. Success isn't about luck or talent. It's about mastering the game and playing it better than anyone else. Most people won't do this. They'll stick to what's familiar, even if it's not working. But for those who are willing to step outside their comfort zones, the rewards are endless. It starts with a decision to stop being a spectator and start being a player. The world is full of opportunities, but only for those who are willing to look for them. Position yourself where the money flows and you'll get wet. That's the game. This is especially true for men. In today's world, the expectations are higher than ever, and the path is filled with challenges. The modern world values clout, status, and achievement. If you don't rise to the occasion, if you don't work extremely hard, you'll find yourself invisible. No one will care about you unless you make yourself matter. And making yourself matter is not easy. It's a battle, one that requires relentless effort, discipline, and a refusal to give up. Young men should aspire to aim high. Work hard, keep a clean record, build wealth, be strong enough to protect and provide for the people they care about. Sovereignty is essential, having the ability to stand firm in your beliefs, even in the face of opposition or cancellation. In today's world, you need to be mentally unshakable. Imagine going on national television, knowing there are traps set up to discredit you, yet staying composed and sharp. That's the level of confidence and control men need to achieve. Strong, confident men are a force for good in the world. They stand up for their families, their communities, and their principles. They protect, provide, and lead by example. This isn't about creating magic or casting spells. It's about showing others the value of discipline, self-reliance, and integrity. There are countless men out there who understand and appreciate these values. They don't see success as luck. They see it as the result of hard work, strategy, and perseverance. If men grow up embodying these principles, the world would be a better place. Imagine a society filled with individuals who have no criminal record, who are dedicated to fitness and health, and who take pride in protecting and providing for the people around them. These men wouldn't just live better lives, they'd inspire others to do the same. This is the vision I have for what men can and should be. The world isn't getting any easier, especially for men. But that doesn't mean you should give up. It means you need to step up, work harder, be stronger, take control of your life, and become the kind of person others can look up to. Success is within your reach, but you have to be willing to fight for it. The choice is yours. Stay where you are or rise above and create a life of purpose and meaning. The journey to success isn't easy, but it's one you're capable of walking. The lessons you've heard today aren't just words. They're a blueprint for transformation. You already have the tools within you to rise above, to break free from the constraints of the system, and to create a life of purpose and power. It starts with taking action. Ask yourself, what's one thing you can do right now to take control of your future? Whether it's learning a new skill, building discipline, or simply challenging what you've been told. Make that choice today. If you've found value in these insights, imagine how much more you can gain by staying connected. This is about more than just watching a video. It's about joining a community of like-minded individuals who are ready to grow, learn, and take charge of their lives. Subscribe now and don't just follow. Engage, act, and become part of a movement that refuses to settle for average. Your future is waiting for you to claim it, and this is your first step. Let's make it happen.